Have you ever stood up after sitting for a long time, maybe on a bus ride, at your desk, or even while watching TV, only to notice that your ankles feel puffy, heavy, or swollen? This is an incredibly common experience, especially for people over 60. And while it can be uncomfortable, it's also a signal from your body that something important is happening with your circulation. Swollen ankles after sitting aren't just about appearance. They affect mobility, comfort, and overall health. The good news is that you can do something about it, and it doesn't require complicated routines or special equipment. A simple, daily recovery trick can ease the swelling, improve blood flow, and bring relief in just a few minutes. Why do ankles swell after sitting? The explanation is surprisingly simple. When you sit for long periods, gravity pulls blood downward into your lower legs. Normally, your calf muscles act like pumps, squeezing blood upward toward your heart with every step you take. But when you're still for too long, that pump isn't working. As a result, fluid begins to pool in your lower legs and ankles. The blood vessels leak a little fluid into the surrounding tissues, and you notice puffiness, tightness, or even a shiny look on the skin. For some people, this swelling goes away quickly once they start walking again. For others, especially seniors or those with conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease, the swelling can linger, cause discomfort, and even interfere with daily activities. Left unchecked, frequent swelling can make shoes feel tight, legs feel heavy, and walking feel more tiring. It can also raise the risk of more serious issues, such as varicose veins or even blood clots. That's why listening to these signals is so important. Let's picture a real-life example. Meet Mrs. Chan, a 70-year-old grandmother who loves knitting. She often spends hours in her chair, completely absorbed in her work. Lately, she's noticed that by evening, her socks leave deep marks around her ankles and her feet feel uncomfortably heavy. She's worried something might be wrong. The truth is, her body is simply reacting to long periods of stillness. What she needs isn't a drastic medical procedure. It's a simple way to get her circulation moving again. Another example is Mr. Dara, a retired office worker who enjoys reading. He often spends entire afternoons in his favorite armchair with a novel. But when he stands up, he sometimes feels tightness around his ankles, and his slippers fit more snugly than they did in the morning. For him, swelling is not just uncomfortable. It's discouraging. He wants to stay independent, but his body feels like it's working against him. Here's the encouraging part. Swollen ankles from sitting are not permanent. Just as inactivity allows swelling to appear, movement can make it disappear. The body is incredibly responsive when given even a small nudge. Gentle exercises and positioning tricks can activate the calf muscles, open the circulation, and flush fluid back toward the heart. In fact, doing these recovery movements daily can prevent swelling from becoming a regular burden. The science supports this. Studies have shown that people who perform simple lower leg exercises after sitting reduce swelling, improve circulation, and report less discomfort compared to those who stay still. Doctors often recommend these movements after surgery or during long flights because they're so effective at keeping blood flowing and preventing fluid buildup. The best part? You don't need to carve out an hour to see results. Just a few minutes can make a big difference. So, if you've noticed swollen ankles after sitting, don't ignore it. See it as your body asking for a reset. With one simple recovery trick, done daily, you can help your body clear away the extra fluid, reduce discomfort, and feel lighter on your feet again. The first step in this recovery trick is an easy, highly effective movement called the ankle pump exercise. If you've ever noticed that walking helps your legs feel better after sitting for too long, you've already experienced the power of this movement. But the ankle pump allows you to get that same circulation boost without needing to walk around. It's perfect for anyone who spends long hours sitting, whether in a chair, on a bus, or even on a long flight. To do it, sit up comfortably in a chair with both feet flat on the floor. Slowly lift your heels off the ground, pressing down through your toes so your calf muscles contract. Hold this for a few seconds, then lower your heels back down. Next, Lift your toes upward while keeping your heels on the ground, stretching the muscles in your calves and the top of your foot. Lower your toes back down and repeat the cycle. That's one ankle pump. Aim for 15 to 20 repetitions with both feet together. Do this 2 or 3 times in a row, and within minutes you'll feel warmth returning to your feet and ankles. At first glance, it may seem almost too simple, just moving your feet up and down. But behind this small action lies a powerful circulation boost. When your calf muscles contract during the heel lift, they squeeze the veins in your legs, forcing blood upward toward the heart. When you lower and switch to lifting your toes, you stretch and relax the muscles, allowing blood to refill the vessels. This rhythmic squeezing and relaxing acts like a pump, helping fluid that has pooled in your ankles move back into circulation. Think of your calves as a second heart. Just as your real heart pumps blood through the body, the calf muscles act as pumps for your lower legs. But they only work when you use them. Sitting for hours without moving is like leaving that pump turned off. The ankle pump exercise switches it back on, clearing away the sluggish, heavy feeling and bringing fresh, oxygen-rich blood into your tissues. To understand how effective this can be, let's revisit Mrs. Chan. She started doing ankle pumps during her knitting sessions. Every 20 minutes, she'd pause to move her feet up and down for 2 minutes. At first, she was skeptical, but within a week, she noticed that her ankles looked less puffy by evening. The deep sock marks faded, and her feet felt lighter. She said it was as though her body was thanking her for such a small act of care. The same was true for Mr. Dara. He began practicing ankle pumps every afternoon while reading. Before, his ankles felt stiff and swollen by dinner time, and he often had to sit with his feet elevated to find relief. But after 2 weeks of consistent ankle pumping, he realized he no longer needed to elevate his feet as often. The swelling became less noticeable, and he regained confidence in his mobility. For him, it wasn't just about physical comfort. It restored peace of mind. The ankle pump exercise also carries another benefit. It's discreet. You can do it anywhere, anytime, without drawing attention. On a bus, in a waiting room, or even at the dining table, you can keep your ankles moving. Nobody needs to know you're actively preventing swelling and supporting your circulation. This makes it one of the most practical tools for older adults, especially for those who travel or sit for extended periods. Doctors often recommend ankle pumps for patients recovering from surgery because they are proven to lower the risk of blood clots. This shows how powerful the exercise truly is. If it can protect post-surgery patients, imagine how much it can do for everyday swelling caused by sitting too long. Now, let's talk about how it feels. At first, if your ankles are very swollen, the movement may feel stiff or uncomfortable. That's normal. It's simply your body adjusting to the new activity. Over time, as circulation improves, you'll notice the motion becomes easier and smoother. You may even feel a gentle warmth or tingling as blood flow increases. That sensation is your body healing itself, one pump at a time. The best part? It only takes a few minutes. 2 to 3 minutes of ankle pumping can bring noticeable relief. If you add this to your daily routine, say every time you watch TV or sit for more than half an hour, you'll build a powerful habit that keeps swelling under control. The second part of the recovery trick is a soothing yet powerful move called the ankle circle stretch. If the ankle pump works like a pump to push fluid upward, the ankle circle acts like a massage, loosening stiffness, encouraging blood flow in every direction, and helping fluid drain from tight, swollen tissues. Together, they create a 1-2 punch against swelling, pumping and massaging. To do it, sit comfortably in a chair or, if possible, lie on your back with your legs slightly elevated on a pillow. Lift one foot just a few inches off the floor. Slowly rotate your ankle in a circular motion, drawing an imaginary circle in the air with your toes. Make the circle as smooth and controlled as possible. Complete 10 circles clockwise, then switch and do 10 circles counterclockwise. After finishing with one ankle, repeat with the other. At first, your movements may feel stiff or jerky, especially if your ankles are swollen or if you've been sitting for a long time. That's completely normal. The goal is not to create big, dramatic circles, but steady, gentle ones. Over time, you'll notice the motion becoming smoother, and your ankles will feel freer. Unlike the up and down motion of the ankle pump, the ankle circle stretches and activates a wider range of muscles and tissues. It targets the smaller stabilizing muscles around the ankle joint and gently stretches the ligaments. This motion improves joint mobility while also stimulating tiny capillaries and veins that don't get as much benefit from straight pumping alone. Think of it as moving water through side channels of a stream, not just the main river. The more pathways you open, the better circulation becomes. Meet Lena, a 68-year-old who spends long mornings at her sewing machine. She began to notice that by lunchtime, her ankles felt stiff and heavy. When her daughter suggested ankle circles, Lena gave them a try between sewing projects. At first, she laughed at how wobbly her circles looked, but after 2 weeks, she felt noticeable changes. Her ankles felt looser, her feet looked less puffy, and she could move more easily when standing up from her chair. For her, ankle circles were like reset buttons that made her body feel young again. Another example is Mr. Heng, a retiree who enjoys fishing by the riverside. Long hours sitting with his rod often left his ankles swollen. He started adding ankle circles every time he reeled in his line. Soon, he noticed he could walk back home without that heavy, dragging feeling in his legs. He said it felt like his ankles were oiled, moving more freely than before. Beyond circulation, ankle circles improve balance and coordination. As we age, ankle stiffness makes it harder to adjust quickly to uneven surfaces, increasing the risk of falls. By practicing controlled circles, you strengthen and train the muscles that keep you steady. In this way, the ankle circle is not just about reducing swelling, it's about protecting independence. The science backs this up. Studies on older adults show that ankle mobility exercises reduce swelling, increase circulation, and improve walking stability. By loosening tight tissues, these exercises allow more fluid exchange, which helps not only with comfort, but also with healing. This is why physical therapists often include ankle circles in recovery routines after injuries or surgeries. They know that circulation and mobility go hand in hand. The best part is that ankle circles can be done almost anywhere. You can do them in bed before getting up in the morning, in a chair while watching TV, or even while sitting on a bus. Nobody will notice, yet your ankles will quietly thank you. Consistency is key here as well. Doing ankle circles once will bring temporary relief, but making them a daily habit creates long-term results. Over weeks and months, your ankles will feel lighter, swelling will occur less often, and your feet will feel more connected to the rest of your body. For many people, this small practice is what allows them to enjoy hobbies, errands, and outings without the constant burden of swollen ankles. The final part of this recovery trick is the heel raise exercise. Unlike the earlier ankle pumps and ankle circles, which can be done while sitting, heel raises are performed while standing. That small shift makes a big difference, because standing uses gravity and your own body weight to activate the muscles in your calves more fully. These muscles act like strong pumps, forcing blood and fluid upward out of the lower legs. By adding heel raises, you not only help swollen ankles return to normal more quickly, but you also strengthen your legs and improve your balance. This exercise is more than relief. It's prevention and protection. All you need is a sturdy surface nearby, such as the back of a chair or a wall, something that offers security in case you feel unsteady. With your feet about hip-width apart, slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as you comfortably can. Hold the position for a couple of seconds, then lower your heels back down with control. The motion should be steady and deliberate, never rushed. At first, you may only manage a handful of repetitions before your muscles feel tired, and that's perfectly fine. Over time, as your strength improves, you will find yourself able to do more without strain. When you lift onto your toes, your calf muscles contract and squeeze the veins, pushing blood upward and forcing the pooled fluid in your ankles to move along. As you lower your heels again, fresh blood returns, bringing oxygen and nutrients to your tissues. This rhythm, lifting, holding, lowering, acts like a flushing system, clearing away the heaviness and stiffness that build up from long periods of sitting. People often describe a warmth spreading through their feet after a set of heel raises, and that warmth is circulation coming back to life. Mrs. Chan began doing heel raises in the kitchen each evening while waiting for water to boil. At first, she felt wobbly and needed the counter for support, but within a week she noticed her slippers were easier to slip on at night. After a month, her swelling was noticeably reduced, and she even felt steadier when climbing stairs. What had once been an uncomfortable burden turned into a quiet victory, all thanks to a few minutes of heel raises each day. The same transformation happened for Mr. Dara. He started by doing just 8 or 9 heel raises each time he took a break from reading. It was difficult at first, and his ankles still felt stiff. But he stuck with it, gradually increasing the repetitions until he was able to complete 3 full sets without fatigue. Within weeks, he realized that his ankles no longer swelled as much in the evenings, and his daughter noticed that he walked with more energy. For him, the exercise was not just about circulation. It was about reclaiming the confidence to move through his day without hesitation. Heel raises also strengthen the muscles that keep you balanced. Swelling is uncomfortable, but weakness in the ankles and calves is dangerous because it increases the risk of falls. By practicing heel raises, you train your body to support itself better. Each repetition not only clears swelling, but also builds resilience, giving you steadier steps and greater security when walking. This is why physical therapists often recommend them to older adults. They improve circulation and stability at the same time. Swollen ankles can feel discouraging, but they don't have to be a permanent part of your life. Your body is resilient and responds quickly to care. By taking a few minutes each day to move your ankles and calves, you can ease discomfort, reduce swelling, and prevent the heaviness that often follows long periods of sitting. More importantly, you remind yourself that you are still in control, still capable of caring for your health, and still able to take steps, literally, toward greater comfort and strength. So the next time you notice puffiness around your ankles after sitting, don't ignore it. Stand tall, lift onto your toes, and let your body feel the difference. Do it daily, and you'll soon notice lighter steps, less swelling, and a renewed sense of freedom in your movement. Small actions, practiced consistently, can create profound changes. Your ankles carry you through every day of your life. Give them the care they deserve, and they will carry you with strength, balance, and confidence.